He's back.
Okay, I see you. Okay. All right, everyone, welcome to our Monday, December 15th, 2025, Seaford Board of Education meeting. My name is Kim Hopkins and I will be presiding over the meeting. And I'm calling into order at 6 p.m. The next item on our agenda is approval of our agenda as presented, and I need a motion.
Yes, I would move to approve the agenda as presented.
Second.
You have a motion and a second, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? And that motion carries. The next item on our agenda is the pledge of allegiance and moment of silence. I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
and please remain standing for a moment of silence. Please be seated. We're not sure who the little person was.
You said it with emphasis.
Love it.
I love it.
Smile. That was so good.
I mean something.
All right, next, you need a motion to approve the minutes from November 17th, 2025 board meeting.
Motion I move to approve the minutes of the 11/17/2025 board meeting. Second.
All right, we have a motion and a second. There's no further discussion. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Any abstentions or recusals? And that motion carries. The next item on our agenda is public participation. And I don't have the mic. And then the next item on our agenda is reports and presentations. And the first thing that we will start with is awards.
We are going to start with our amazing middle school football team. We have certificate. I see plenty of players. We have our coaching staff as well.
Yes.
And so I think what we're gonna do is ask Coach Long to call the names. And then we will come forward with students with pictures with board representation. So that we can recognize them here tonight, but also via social media.
There you go.
So we have right answer. Yeah.
Sure.
Jeremiah Best. Marquis Clark. Oh, hold on, Marquis. Hold on, Marquis. Where we at?
Mr. Wright.
Yes, ma'am.
Come on, Mr. Moran.
All right, now we got the
There.
picture. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Okay, I think you called water.
Marquis, now this one. Thank you for fishing. There you go.
Yeah, man.
There you go. Skinny sense. Micah. Yo, this one.
There you go, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Open up. Everybody pay attention. Open it up. Nazir. If you don't need that. High pressure situation here. It's been with the- Very good, me too. I think the audio can better picture. Well done. Zion.
Congratulations.
Yeah. I'll put it upside down. Blow right back. TJ. Antonio. Good morning. Nervous?
There you go.
Charles.
Yeah, hello,
You're gonna be gone, man. I'm not concentrating. You do. I told me about to have me before I said there's something. I'm just scared about it. That's good. We're here. There you go. There you go. Carver. Yeah, Carver. Yeah. That is the Puerto Rico. Take a picture. There you go. There you go. Yeah, stop. You're missing anybody. Who's gonna play?
Big round of applause and call. I just asked the coaches just to give a little, just an overview maybe of the season, some highlights. I know you're super proud, undefeated, and amazing things to look forward to going into next year as well, right?
Yes, absolutely. 7-0, I think that speaks for itself a little bit. As far as highlights of the season, I mean, these guys, every day is a highlight with these guys. They show up day in and day out. We have our ups, we have our downs, but at the end of the day, again, they show up, we stick together, put the work in, and I think the hard work kind of, again, speaks for itself. I look forward to the future. A lot of young guys in 7th grade coming up, and our 8th graders moving on up to the high school. They got some shoes to fill up there, as we all know. So looking forward to it all.
Appreciate your work and thank you all of you guys for the hard work and making us proud.
Back to basketball.
Right, right in the middle of the what's our score right now for basketball? You don't have to stay, it's like, we're
They're going back to the game.
Go back to the game. Ball game.
Thank you, good job.
There you go.
Oh, no, we just like to throw it on.
That's all right. That's probably better that way.
So do you want to take this and give those to the other players? That'd be great. Okay, thanks.
Yeah, no problem. Thank you, guys.
Thank you very much. Congratulations.
My office is out right over on that field. I love this.
You're gonna show off.
That was great. That was great. So next, we're gonna move on to our next, presentation. FFA, I think?
Yes, so normally, I would have an opportunity to talk, but I'm giving you my time on the floor. Because we really enjoy hearing from you every year, and it was the easiest way to get you on the. No, yeah.
You guys start off, let's just go down the line.
No, we'll start over the first.
We gotta start off with the good
Come on.
Alright, you guys okay? I'll start off real quick.
Yeah.
Alright, I want to say thank you for allowing us to come today. She's been working really hard on the newsletter. Kind of gives you a review of what we've been going on this year. Each one will have a little bit different topic to talk about. Today we worked really hard. It was a 2-hour delay to create slides for you guys, so we'll be presenting those to you in just a little bit. So we'll start off. We'll start off first. I think that. Sorry, guys.
All right, guys, on the second page, I have, I'm gonna be talking about our, Mr. Scott Memorial Garden out front of the preschool. We've made a few changes this year, adding trellises, beside the garden to grow grapes and, pumpkins. Which has been very well. I don't know, we've harvested 9 pumpkins and, we're still waiting on the, grape. But, it's been a very successful year. But I'm gonna have to look at this one, but we've had a total of 65 cucumbers, 47 peppers, 2 squash, 9 pumpkins, 423 tomatoes, and 21 strawberries, which is a very large amount of fruit. I had the total, but I forgot.
Good job.
Pretty nice. Now it's middle school.
So I'm gonna be talking about the middle school landscape project that we did at Brandon Middle School. We completely did we draft the picture of the landscape design?
No, we did not.
So we actually, every single one of his kids in third period designed their own landscape plan for the middle school, and we picked out which ones we liked the best, and that one got nominated for this whole design that we did. All of the trees came from R&L Landscaping. Irrigation, there you go. We took over a week planting all of this, and it was all of his third period class that did all of this for him. But yeah, that project. It was a lot of fun, and it was a lot of hands-on.
Back off that, they did the landscape design, the plant install, they did a deep drip irrigation install. Working with Mr. Mike Mulvaney, he did all the hard plumbing, and then the guys did the rest. And then to spread the mulch with the middle school FFA or their program. So it was a nice collaboration, seeing those kids out in Northern.
And then I'm gonna be talking about the advisory brunch that we did. What was that? It was fall. In fall, we had our advisory brunch where we invite a couple of people twice a year to talk about what we've accomplished and our curriculum that we're trying to work towards, so. We had 8 sponsors show up and, we've gotten, one of them is gonna help us with some deer dissecting and all that.
Okay, exciting.
Thank you.
And I will talk about our wood duck box program. So currently we have, I believe it is 8 wood duck boxes and a property in Maryland. And with that property in Maryland, we collected a total of, I believe, 65 eggs among all 8 boxes. So a long time ago, wood ducks were about to go extinct. So these boxes are actually preserving the population and actually make them grow more and more and more. And so we also and then after that, they're collaborating with our organizations and our biologists. So we this past year we collab with who is it? Waterfowl biologist and a Maryland DNR officer was Kaylee Harvey and then Hutch Baldridge. And they basically just gave us, more ideas on how to be more effective and how to improve the habitat and how to just, conserve literally just everything about the environment. And then also we talked about just stuff like that. And then we met with a Maryland turkey biologist to learn more about how turkeys, just their habits, where they nest, what predators they face, and just how to make it better for them because turkey, they go everywhere. They have a large territory. And and then we also every year recently we've gone to the Delta Waterfowl banquet, and when we go to the banquet we talk about more about this and how to get that organization to come over to Delaware, specifically Sussex County, and how they can help and fund many different projects that we have and just the food conservation as a whole. And also that opens up opportunities for our officers to get more involved in projects like that and possibly make a career out of it. Yeah. Awesome.
Thank you.
Piggyback off that just a little bit, with the work of biology of Maryland, the students were able to check the boxes. We have one box that had 14 eggs in it that were almost ready to hatch. And you can see the cracks in the eggs. So they were rekindle the eggs and see the duckling inside the egg, break where it hatched out. So that was really cool. So just got to hold the eggs. They got the if they wanted to hold the wood duck hen. They were banded and released. So it's a program we just started this year with the banding with Maryland. And they're really excited about expanding that program. So we'll put a few more boxes up there this year. And when we look at the eggs, handle them, put them back. Out of the 65, we didn't get a chance to check all the boxes going back, but at least 40 of those eggs hatched out. So and of course, then you have a lot of predation afterwards. And then we're also going to be banding some more ducks at the school, the pond by the track. We were banding 3 mallards last year with Delaware Denrac. So that's something we're going to expand on. And we're also going to work with Delaware Denrac to manage the boxes at the negative wildlife area. They've got about 30 boxes that have kind of been abandoned. So we're going to be working with them and using our boat that we have for the program and accessing all those boxes out there. So it's something that's going to really jump this year. I'm really excited to see how far it's coming. We've got about 8 more boxes we need to put up this year. So it's cool that the Delaware, Denrac, and Maryland DNR has really reached out and done whatever they could to help us out to support the students and give them those hands-on opportunities that they learn about in the classroom, but to be able to put it in use is really impressive.
I love how we've seen this program kind of develop from,
We've also started with all our wood duck boxes, we're engraving SHS on them, so
you saw that.
we have all our wood duck boxes stamped with, so it's easy to recognize for the schools.
A way to make an impact here in Sussex County that you're really actively taking part of. It's amazing. And we love hearing from you guys every day. And you bring us live. Appreciate that.
Josh, again, good.
Okay, so last year we so several 18 students were certified in Ducks Unlimited, Ducks Unlimited certifications, and these certifications can help them find jobs, like if they go, my best guess would be if they go into engineering and, well, these certifications let people know that that these people are somewhat educated, or not some, educated on these subjects. Not a degree, but you know, it'll show them that they're knowledgeable in it, and it can help them get jobs involving the environment and stuff. And also, it is the Seaford High School is it the first school?
It's one of the first one's Sussex County, they offered.
First school in Sussex County that offers the Ducks Unlimited certification.
Thank you.
So, Parks and Rec from Seaford reached out to the, landscape and truck design class, this period 3 and asked us if we could help them out with any trees over at the Jason's. And so we went over for our 3rd period and we helped plant trees for the shade over there and just to help regrow it.
We'll be talking about our hydroponic program this year that we have had, or well, we've been doing it for 3 years now. We've had 5 successful harvests with over 30 pounds of lettuce. It's a lot of lettuce. And we will be we're planting tomatoes, peppers, sugar snap peas, and we'll be looking forward to them this spring. And we are also there's a Del Tech class that Seaford High School offers that I will be taking, and a few other of our officer team, or a few more people, or a few other people on our officer team. It's a hydroponics class, 4 hydroponics to put, or now 4 Del Tech to, like, it adds onto your resume, or you can apply for scholarships, all that sort of stuff. And
Is that a dual credit class?
yes,
So they're going on
it's a dual credit class.
This is the first year we've offered it, when we worked with Dr. Katie for Stuff Folk.
Yeah.
So we're excited we're offering that end of January. So it's an adjustment we made this year, and it just gets done so well with the hydroponic program that way. They'll learn about it in the classroom, but now, they've already got the hands-on experience out there.
Your students never leave you after 3 years, so they had to find another class for them to stay
Yeah.
around.
All right, thank you
We
guys.
do have samples from the last back here, and then Gavin, the last one.
All right.
Hang on, no night. I know somebody asked that. So I'm the safety person, make sure no one gets out nursery program. We're first date in Delaware, to get certified in Delaware, so it is. We got a little setup in a classroom, we shoot from 5 yards, 7 yards, 10 yards at nationals, which is in Kentucky, if we get to go, be at states. Go there in Kentucky, Louisville, it's that nice little convention center. They shoot at 10 to 15 yards with a target, we got the same targets, we all got the stuff to us for free from the National Archery Schools program. We're currently working with the deer biologist to get a deer in, and we also got this one fellow with Natural Sportsman Club. We're supposed to go out there sometime. They got these 3D targets, so it'll move. It's like a moving deer. We can bring our bows out there, shoot them, and he's supposed to get us like this little winch thing so we can set up in our compost bin out there. Do a little example. We got about a dozen members. We do it every day after school. Sometimes Cody will do it in his classes. All of them. It's nice. Everybody gets to shoot. Real fun to do. We do all the safety for it. You gotta get certified and everything. It helps you get your muscle memory and everything. Thank you all.
Thank you.
Very good. Now, you guys want to get a picture with the swag, or is that?
What do you want to do? Yeah.
All right, you guys want to grab some of the swags, and go, Dodge want to grab the salads.
They come stand up in front.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that's what you're doing.
These are all from the hydroponic system with the.
It's me. Did you get one?
Let's just stand right in the front and they'll see us.
There's no actual.
Yeah, it was.
Oh, look, if we just lost our whole shooting.
Hold on, I gotta turn around.
There's no actual.
Stab with a needle.
Ready? 1, 2. Great.
Great.
Thank you.
So much. You are more than welcome to stay. We're also invited to go see middle school basketball if you have some. Thank you guys for being here.
Thank you, appreciate it.
Thank you.
Awesome. Cool.
You don't have to go to middle school basketball.
Go home, you go home. Hang out your end.
Yeah.
Great job, appreciate it. This is helpful.
Thank you.
I love these kids.
Thank
And then it is our usuals and our gathering.
Yes. Yes, thank you.
I was told to use this podium.
Well, you're an official presentation.
Yes.
We did run everybody out of the room.
This is Mr. Riddle.
Yeah, my name is Jack Riddle, and I'm president of Community Bank Delaware, a bank we started about 20 years ago. And there's some of you folks in the room. Armor and I made it through high school together a few years ago. I don't remember having a great football team when we were there.
No, not like this.
No, we didn't have anything like that. So I wanted to come tonight because I just wanted to share a little bit. 4 years ago, we started working with the state of Delaware to get financial literacy paid for by the state. So we worked on a curriculum, we worked on trying to get funding. Well, we failed on the funding side. They didn't give you any units, anything like that. That's a shame. I think they should have. But still, we got something in there where we at least required financial literacy training. So then, okay, now what do you do then? Well, we searched out a national program that we worked with the state to make sure that whatever this program was, it met all the state requirements. So we got that done. Okay, now who's going to pay for the program? So I said, well, we've done all this, we're going to pay for it. So about 4 years ago, we signed a deal with another district, and I started talking to Dr. Nikki Miller. And I said, Nikki, we need this in Seaford, and I'll tell you what, I'll make it easy for you. I'll pay for it. So we signed the contract, we paid for the curriculum, so Seaford School District's going to get this program from Ramsey Solutions, which is a national vendor of financial literacy courses, and we've already signed the deal, and I think we already have the program now. So we were real happy to be a part of that. And as a Seaford alum, I'm going to try to do everything I can do to make Seaford a better place. You folks are working real hard, so we thought we'd contribute a little more. Well, another thing I learned about booster organizations is because I was president of the hockey boosters. Remember that?
I do.
And the tennis boosters and whatever else my kids were involved in. We found that boosters always needed money. So I went to the board and I said, we're going to give boosters money. Well, how are you going to do that? So, well, if they bank with us, we'll give them $1,000. So we put a program together. We've done this to booster clubs all over Sussex County. I don't know how much money we've given out in Seaford. Maybe Wendy's our branch manager here in Seaford. Maybe she can tell you. But we have money to give to booster clubs. So any booster club that's affiliated with the Seaford School District, whatever, if they come to us, we'll find a way to give them some money. So I know Wendy has some like little details and all that, but I got a pile of money and I want to put it in Seaford School District. That's it. So I just want to thank you for letting us be a part of this. Thank you for giving me time tonight. Seaford's real important to me. I grew up here. Armor and I think, did you carry me through high school or did I carry you?
I think you might have carried me.
All right. Thank you very much for all you're doing. You guys are
working hard to bring Seaford back to what it was when that Nylon Capital sign was up, and we're just real proud that as our bank to be a part of it, so thank you very much.
Thank you.
That's all we needed.
I don't have any questions, but I would like to say I really like your ensemble.
What we got? I got the number. Just for the tie, I got it. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
If there's anything that you think you need out there that we can help with, we've got manpower, we've got people that build parade floats that win. So, anything we can do to help you out and think we're missing, you help us out, because, we made a commitment here and I'm gonna make sure we honor it. Okay?
Thank you.
Thanks very much. See you.
And then we're, so, the part that I deferred from superintendent's comments, just make sure we have the public record. We celebrated our middle school football team, but obviously since our last meeting, we also had a high school football team. Some good things there, a little state championship along the way, just, I mean, we don't want to think too much. One of the items on our agenda will be a change to the January board meeting, at which we will celebrate and recognize our high school players. Winter sports have started up, basketball, wrestling, and swimming. Concerts this week, last week. Also, if you are looking for something to do on any night of the week, drop by a school. Last week I went by Central Elementary. Central Elementary was identified as a bright spot school by the Secretary of Education, a school that has made consistent growth over the last 2 to 3 years. There were 19 schools identified across the state, and our very own Central Elementary School, under the wonderful guidance of Chandra Phillips, was recognized. I read in the newspaper that Dr. Jeffrey Benson was named a Primo Scholar by First State Educate, so we're very proud of him. It says to develop strong, diverse governance leadership, leadership development, coaching, and mentorship. When does that start for you?
I don't know, I meet with them tomorrow.
Anything you learn, you just pass it on.
Absolutely. I have a question. Tomorrow's game, is it postponed to Wednesday?
Yes,
It is.
yes,
Okay. That's Laurel and Seaford
Okay.
basketball
at Laurel.
at Laurel. Okay. Same time on Wednesday?
Yes, the triple header, but it's the same time, just a day later.
Understood.
And then finally, I wanted to share that Mark Murphy, one of the custodians at Seaford Middle School, is going to be ending his tenure with us as a custodian after almost 27 years.
Wow.
So he's just been such a longstanding employee. He will be invited back for our retirement celebration in June, but I wanted to make sure to let you guys know that his last day is this Friday.
19.
Yeah, so if you saw him around, that you could wish him well and congratulations. Yeah,
The 19th?
yes. And that's all I have.
That's awesome.
All right, next we have board communications. Does any board members have anything they'd like to share?
I did go to a couple of the concerts, Dr. B mentioned, I was at middle school chorus, I was at middle school band. And happy holidays, there's lots more to attend if you do something.
Every night.
It is. It is, and I think that, I'm happy to see so many people interested in band again. You know, it is, it really is, and that's a beautiful thing. Just feedback off what you said, like congratulations to our sports teams, they're really out there giving their best, they're giving their all, and they're really doing it.
Still been a lot of excitement.
It is, and kudos to the community coming out. It feels like, old times, really nice little town.
Yes.
Our little town, but same like Dr. Babish said, happy holidays if we don't get to talk to you again before then.
Well.
Yeah, because it's the last week,
It is.
and I'll see you on 2026. All right, moving along, let's see what we have. Oh, Mr. King. You know,
It's just a regulation.
we couldn't end the year without some policy.
We went light. So later on tonight, we will be bringing the second reading of BDH, which is public participation at board meetings. So these are the regulations that go along with it. Really, this is the blue form put to regulation because when we updated the blue form, we realized we didn't have the policies. That's why we're having the second reading tonight of the policy, and then the regulations basically detail what we have on the blue form.
Right, next is the JJER, Student Fundraising Activity Regulation.
Yeah, I can talk about it, I'm not going to student. So, well, at October's board meeting, we had the second reading of JJE. The policy, and so these are the regulations that go along with it. I know it's unusual for us to have a gap of space there. But we really were trying to get these down. We got some principals' feedback on some different things, and really, it's kind of tidying up what we do with the process of fundraising that hasn't been updated in a long time. I sat down with Patches as well. We kind of made sure that, and some changes had to be made. There were some reports mentioned in the regulations that do not exist anymore. So we had to tidy that up, and then also needed to address the recent phenomenon of like the GoFundMe and donors choose and everything. Just to make sure that we have the regulation there to make it clear where that belongs if a teacher leaves and everything. So that was added to the policy or to the regulations as well. So that's what's in play with that regulation.
All right. The next one is Mr. Zoll.
Yep, and similar to what Cam said, this is one, I think the second vote was in October or November, I can't remember. But this is when we just wanted to update the regulations on the staff health. Much like the staff health policy, this was filled with things, really about HIV and AIDS, because it was developed in the 1980s and then was never updated. So we struck all that out, just because of obviously privacy concerns, and we kind of made it bare bones, to just what we need for staff health in regulation. We updated the phone number, that was way outdated as well. Thank you, messed on that one, because that number went nowhere. And we also put in like the new employee assistance program, how it's available to all staff, and talk about the emergency cards and things like that.
Been an adventure, not for these.
I can just imagine someone, on social media saying they called the number.
Never was that.
Great. Next item we have is accountability data overview presentation, and that's Dr. Jeanette.
Good evening. So typically, this presentation will be made in October. However, DOE was late in releasing information. It was encumbered until their November board meeting, which was held after our November board meeting. Hence why we're sharing in December, which seems somewhat silly since the school year's half over. However, this is last year's school accountability information. So Delaware has the Delaware School Success Framework that measures how schools perform in key areas. And then the DOE uses this information to help identify schools who may need additional supports or schools that are meeting with success. So the four categories for elementary and middle school are academic achievement, school quality and student success, which includes attendance, academic progress, and English language proficiency, which is our WIDA test scores. For the high school, it's academic achievement, graduation rate, the school quality and student success, and English language proficiency. So we do also factor in our CTE. We measure students who are on track for graduation, and all of that in there, as well as our proficiency on science and social studies. So this is all of the testing and which grade levels test. Where?
You okay?
You're right. So you can see, we measure on-track attendance in every grade level. We have Smarter Balance proficiency from 3rd through 8th grade. There's growth that we get scores for 4th grade through 8th grade. Science and social studies is factored in there. So we have lots of assessment measures for our students. So in the yellow is the Seaford School District information, and the blue is the state. For English language arts, this is SBAC grades 3 through 8. We're right around the state average overall as the district. 3rd, 4th, and 5th grade, we were higher than the state average. We did have a slight dip in some of our scores from last year, but we still maintained above the state average, and we're still well in the top part of the state. 6th, 7th, and 8th grade, we're starting to close that gap between us and the state scores. So we're starting to see some movement there with that. Math, we were higher than the state as a district. 3rd, 4th, and 5th grade maintained scores that were quite significantly above the state average. We again saw the dip in 6th, but you can see 6th, 7th, and 8th. 7th and 8th kind of picks up from that dip. So we did implement the new curriculum in math this year. So we're excited to see what happens with our math scores in the middle school this year. SAT proficiency, this is the English. We were at 21%, the state average was 47%, and we were at 4% in math, and 18% was the state. The state is having a committee working on accountability measures, and they are holding focus groups across the state. I see Dr. Savage's face. I'm participating in that. Dr. Miller is on that. Dr. Harrison attended the meetings with us. So we've been participating on that. And one of the conversations that we're having is what's the best assessment measure for the high schools? And is it SAT, or could it be something else and some other measurement? So the state is looking into that. So one of our celebrations, our middle school showed significant growth in their special education scores. So they started working really hard last year on Tier 1 instruction for all of their special education students, which is something that we're continuing this year, and we've expanded across the district this year. But you can see, these are the 23-24 scores. Here's the 24-25. So you can see the change. They went up 25%. And of their special education students meeting proficiency in 7th grade, and almost 28% in 8th grade. So we really wanted to celebrate that because they're really doing some good work with their special education students at the middle school.
Can I ask a quick question? So we're closing the gap between our general education and special education students.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
I had a question too.
Yeah.
Before you get too far, the gap, like, for a long period of time, when we started putting 6th graders over at the junior high, we noticed that always it was, people, we couldn't figure out what's making the difference. But we gained anything there, because even with the charts, it always shows starting at 6th grade, at 6th, 7th, and 8th. So what's the difference from when we go from, the 5th grade to 6th grade, all of a sudden you feel like they get not the case of the smarts anymore?
Yeah, so that's one of the things that we've been discussing quite a bit. And if you go to the next slide, Mr. Cameron, that we're addressing through vertical articulation between schools, including doing classroom observations.
Okay.
So we've taken some of our middle school teachers and administrators to see the elementary classrooms, the 5th grade classrooms. I took Lori Smith, who's the instructional coach at the high school. We went and visited the 8th grade classrooms at the middle school to see what they were doing. And then we went over to Central because we had some time. And she was amazed at the level of text and the rigor that our elementary students are reading. So we're having those conversations and getting our teachers to visit classrooms so that they can have those conversations between,
Yeah.
it's usually the transition grades, 5th to 6th,
No, yeah.
8th to 9th. So we're trying to break those.
different.
Yeah,
It really does.
and the pedagogy looks different too, Mr. Rice.
Yeah.
It
When you're
does.
younger, you're learning to read. But then when you make that switch, you're reading to learn. And it's very different in some kids, and math becomes more abstract, so
Right.
it's
Right.
difficult for kids to make that transition.
So, this year, some of the things that we've been working on is, having access to Tier 1 instruction. We've done a lot with professional learning for our special education staff and paras, and coaching for all of our schools. So we've been, really working on that. Ms. Hastings and I have been working on that together. We've implemented the Amplify Math curriculum at the secondary schools. It's really showing a lot of student engagement. Students are engaged in the mathematics curriculum, so we're really excited about that. The vertical articulation between the schools, we're continuing with our dual enrollment offerings at the high school. We expanded that last year and we continued with that, and you heard about an additional one that we have with the hydroponics. We're also having, around the Delaware, this is our evaluation system, DTGSS. We have focused learning walks at our secondary schools for our associate principals, to go with a coach into classrooms, to observe in classrooms, to look at the DTGSS rubric, to give feedback to teachers, and then have follow-up. And those are happening monthly. And then we've combined our principal PLC meetings and with our instructional coaches, our multilingual learner teachers, our special ed coordinators, and we meet 3 times a year. And we're going out into classrooms and doing observations, walkthroughs together with the DTGSS rubric, and then coming back and having conversations together. So the principals are kind of coaching their teacher leaders on the DTGSS rubric and what we're looking for in classrooms, and then working with them on how to give feedback to teachers within their schools as well. So this is kind of our instructional plan this year that we've been working on. Any questions from me? Yes.
I have a couple.
Yeah.
Just to piggyback off of, what Mr. Rice was saying, and there I did hear what you were saying now. And I know that K-12 is different than collegiate, but yet I know K-12 prepares for college. So being that, like in college, when I'll use nursing. The idea is that we're gonna stair step, that we know that the next course will build off the current course. And we know that the percentage of what's analytical or what requires critical thinking will be higher by the time you end the program versus when you begin it. So it might be like a 70-30, then midway it's a 50-50, then 80-20, and 80 of it is more critical thinking. Do the students in 5th grade, before summer starts, do we start expressing to them that, okay, hey, this is how you've been learning thus far, but when you head to the middle school, things will change for you. So if you've struggled with it this way, like Daryl was saying, they're learning to read and now they're reading to learn. Like, do they start introducing it like a soft launch?
Yes.
So that they recognize that, okay, no more is it, we teaching vowel sounds. We really now we need you to read it, to understand it, to comprehend it, to look it up if you're not sure, ask questions, so that you actually can comprehend what you're reading.
Yes, so we have the bookworms curriculum K-8. So last spring, we started modeling the last novel that they were reading in 5th grade off of the structure that they would be using in the middle school. So typically what happens in their shared reading block at the elementary school is that it's a focus for reading. They have an echo or oral read and then a partner read, and then they get into comprehension questions. we made the shift to follow what looks more similar to the middle school, where they're reading more independently and doing a reading guide. Some students might still be partnering, but we looked at the structure rather than saying the middle school needs to be more like the elementary school. We looked at what's going to happen in the middle school and tried to shift that down. And we're doing that for the last 2 books this year, the last 2 novels. So the 4th module in 5th grade will be patterned off of what they'll be expected to do in 6th grade.
And that was the first time last.
That
year
was
we did that.
last spring was the first time that we did that. So we wrote the lessons and got approval from Dr. Sharon Walpole and did that. And then this year, we're gonna expand it to the whole 4th module so that the students are familiar with, because we felt like there's a lot of transitions between elementary to middle. And so if we could make some of those transitions happen so that the students are familiar with the procedures in 5th grade, then they could carry that up to 6th grade.
Okay, and then
That's
another
my question.
Good, my next one was, so I know you had mentioned that we have some of the secondary educators go to the elementary school. So when they go to the elementary school, what is the goal of that observation?
So we've been doing lots of different things with it. So for the middle school, some of the feedback from these DTGSS walkthroughs were in math classrooms. And while they were using the Amplify curriculum, the feedback was that we wanted to increase collaborative partners in the classroom for discussion before sharing out. So we sent the department chair, the AP, and the instructional coach to Frederick Douglass to a 5th grade math classroom where they were using the collaborative partners already in place so that they could see the language that they were using in the elementary school and could lift that up into the middle school.
Okay.
So we're having some of those conversations.
So say that they don't get the opportunity to do an observation.
Mhm.
And if that's one of the goals that they would get to see that, but what if they don't? Do the teachers at the middle school that teach the math teachers or the ELA teachers, do they get to have some time with the teachers in 5th grade to get that discussion so that they know what they're lifting?
Yes, so we're building that into our PD days across the course of the year. We had several days at the beginning we had time at the beginning of the year for articulation between the middle school and the high school. We're building that in again, and then we'll have some time with the 5th grade teachers with the middle school as well.
Okay, that'd be good. I'm used to curriculum mapping.
Yep.
So I'm used to, finding out what is taught where.
Yep.
And then I take the torch from whoever's before me so that I carry it, so I elevate it, so they're prepared by the time they graduate.
Yes.
All right, cool. I'll be looking forward to hearing more about that.
Yeah.
So we can follow the 5th through 6th thing.
Yes, that's what we're hoping to do.
All right, thank you. That's all I have.
Any other questions? Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Awesome, thank you.
All right, let's see. The next item, Vincent, your favorite. All right. Next, we got school choice, and that is an action item that I will need a motion to approve that.
That's mentioned, I make a motion to approve school choice applications 2026-75 through 2026-78 as presented.
Mark, sorry, that's something.
All right, we have a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? And that motion carries.
Dr. Benson, January is gonna be a long list.
You said make sure you feed them. All right, next item on our agenda is a field trip, and what we have down here looks like the 3rd grade students from Central Elementary School is going to Washington DC Zoo, 9:30 a.m. to 6:30 p.m. The students will explore environments and traits to align with their science curriculum. And that would be an action item as well.
Sarah Savage, I move to approve the field trip agenda as presented.
Mark, sorry, that's something.
All right, we have a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye. Opposed? And that motion will carry. And that's May 1st of 2026.
On the field trip, excuse me, on the field trips, we had discussions every time for a while now. Every time a field trip would come up, we're going to DC, we're concerned about having issues with, immigration. Have we experienced any of that? Nobody's had any problems on any of the field trips we had so far, have it? Good.
We had a
I know we're concerned about it.
communication plan that we
Mhm.
had developed after we spoke last time.
Good deal.
We had one close call with Fred Douglas going to DC during the government shutdown, but the government shutdown ended like 4 days before, so we were just.
Good.
Yeah, it wasn't, it was more about the shutdown.
Good deal. I'm glad to hear that.
Next item, facility requests, and we do not have any.
I would like to interject here, it's not a facility request, but we do have the PEFC, the Public Education Funding Commission, who will be using Central Elementary School Media Center for their community engagement session on January 20th at 5:30 PM. It's Tuesday.
And I will be hosting.
And I will co-host, I'll stay. The reason we're doing it central is because our space here isn't accessible for people with disabilities. It would have been an optimal place, but we gave them other choices, and I guess they really wanted to have something in Western Sussex.
What's on the menu?
That's not voted on because it's a DOE, it's basically we're hosted, we are the building user.
All right, and next would be what Dr. D was talking about earlier, changing the board meeting date for January to January 12th to be held at the high school auditorium. So we need a motion to approve that.
I'm charged with the change in board meeting date and location to January 12th, 2026 at Seaford High School Auditorium at 6 o'clock as presented.
Second.
All right, we have a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye. Opposed? And that motion carries. And next we have Mr. Henry, who came out of retirement to tell us about the.
Finish the year without seeing me.
Innovations.
So, so basically it's a project that we completed over the summer from Lake of one out front here, and I apologize for that, but we're working on it. So basically there's a middle school ramp out there. I just wanted to bring it to the board to let you guys know, anytime we spend minor cat money or enhanced minor cat money, I like to bring it to you guys and just make you aware of what we're doing with that. So basically when we were doing some pressure washing and prepping of the ramp area out there, the threshold popped loose and came out. So we had to go back and replace everything and then coat it over. So basically that's just a $2,000 change order for that to take place. And we had some money left in fiscal year 24 enhanced minor cap, so we'll pay out of that. Any questions on
Nope.
Okay.
And that is an action item, and we need a motion to approve.
Seaford Middle School exterior renovation change order number 003.
Let's try this.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? And that motion carries. Mr. Henry, Seaford School District fencing renovations?
Yes, so basically, last, I believe it was last spring, yeah, we went out for fencing bids for Central Elementary, Fred Douglas Elementary, and the stadium for security fencing. Mr. Zoll had some security money that we were trying to use for that, and unfortunately, the bids came in over what we had available. So we had to back up and regroup and figure out how we're gonna do this. So basically now we're moving forward with that funding and also the enhanced minor cap for fiscal year 25 to try to plug those two in together and make this happen. But also I went back to the architects and we basically configured it a little differently with alternates. So we got alternate 1 would be Central's playground, alternate 2 is Fred Douglas's playground, and then alternate 3 is the stadium. So basically now we can kind of plug things and unplug things to make sure it fits into the budget that we have available to make sure that we complete the project. But it'd be all new fencing for around Central Elementary and actually enclosing the end that's open. Security wise, I think that'd be a big one. And then also Fred Douglas replacing all the fencing. On the back side of that fencing though, we will leave the existing fencing just because it's actually holding everything back from washing into the pond. So erosion control there. So we're leaving that fencing and coming up 8 foot so we can maintain behind it. And then put new fencing there. But from the road, as you enter through the gym, the existing fencing will go in the same place all the way around to that corner.
How tall will the fence be for Central?
Central is 42 inches, which is what's there now, around that playground.
Okay.
And then
We can go higher.
we really shouldn't because of the turn, like where you come out to the intersections and stuff like that. That's why they keep it that low. Because if not, then it's a construction division. Now, around the stadium, we're gonna go with 8 foot fencing, just because of security, doing events and stuff like that, that people can't jump over it or anything like that. Over at Fred, we're going with a 6 foot just because of the pond being back there, so the kids couldn't climb across it and, because it's not any obstruction back there. So that's the reason, good question, that's a good reason that we're lower over here.
I've always
Wondered?
wondered because I ride by sometimes, even a few times, like a ball will come over,
Yep.
and we throw it over the fence or whatever the case may be. I always just thought that was kind of dangerous.
That's a good point, Dr. Benson. Actually, we're moving the fence back 10 feet from the road on this side over here, just because of that, because there's stuff that ends up across the street, so, yeah. Any questions on that?
Nope, and that 2 is an action item, and we need a motion to approve.
Jeff Benson, I make a motion to approve Seaford School District fencing renovations, approval to move forward with bids as presented. Yeah, Savage, I second.
I have a motion and a second, all in favor, say aye. Opposed? And that motion carries. For a minute there, Dr. Benson, I thought you were gonna say we need those, nets like top golf. Let's see, next item on our agenda is a drug-free workplace policy. And we're gonna be going back to, Mr. Cameron, and Mr. Cameron, I just want to tell you, the last week of school before Christmas, usually people are watching movies and things, not doing all this work.
It's because his boss told him that he had to.
Well, you pay me to work, not watch the Christmas movie. I can change that if that's true. Not a whole lot of changes here to this policy, just some minor tweaks. Obviously, it has not been revised since '92, and so the revisions here are not really substantive. When I hopefully bring you GBEC-1 regulations for this in January, but to be honest with you, with the quick turnaround of the meetings, it might not be till February. Because it's lengthy, and we're one of 19 districts that are kind of going through this right now with some different things, with some advice from our council, who is in charge, it handles 16 of the 19 districts. So that's kind of where this is coming from as we go through. But the policy just needs a little bit of tweaking, where the regulations, to be honest with you, are probably gonna be, let's strike everything we have and begin again, just because it's gonna make a lot more sense since it's been since 1992.
All right.
The question on that though, I look at that now, and I think how difficult it could be now with the drug policy. I know before I got in the military, we had trying to rewrite where everything is legal now. So, when you say drug free now, the kids bring in the medicine and, the gummy bears and they gotta take them because they, ADHD or something.
Well, in this case,
I mean,
Mr. Rice, this is drug-free workplace. This is for employees.
Okay.
This is not for our students. Our as far as the alcohol and drugs with the students, that's handled under the code of conduct, which
Is that the same with employees and even us, employees and is any clause in there about that?
there's lots of things in there in that regard, which you'll see in the regulations, and we'll go over in a little more depth.
Right. Right.
This is an action item, that we need a motion to approve the first reading.
Make a motion to approve first reading, drug-free workplace.
Second. I have a motion and a second, all in favor, say aye. Opposed? That motion carries. The next item on our agenda, also, Mr. Cameron, and it is, BED, meeting procedure bylaw policy.
Second reading, we've had no changes to it. I just remind everybody, this is a change of title only, this policy, to get it under the NEPN standards. I'll make sure I get those letters right.
Oh. All right, so we just need a motion to approve it.
Work session, move to approve the second reading of BED, meeting procedures, bylaw policy as presented.
Second.
All right, motion and second, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? And that motion carries. Next one is BED eight, public participation at board meeting policy. This was the second reading. And we would need a motion to approve, but nothing has changed since.
Sarah Savage, I move to approve the second reading of BEDH, public participation at board meetings as presented.
Second.
All right, with a motion and second, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? And that motion carries. The next item, also, Mr. Cameron, is HA, negotiations / priority objectives policies. This too is a second reading, and you didn't get any feedback or anything changed here either, correct?
Correct.
All right, so this too is an action item that would require a motion.
That basically making a motion to approve second reading of HA negotiations goal priority objectives policy is presented.
Second.
We have a motion and a second, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? And that motion carried. Next one as well as Mr. Cameron, HG superintendent's role in negotiations policy, this as well, a second reading. And there's been no feedback or changes or has
There was a change from this one. I had an error that Dr. Savage found when we had the discussion in November's board meeting. We have made that change, but that's the only change that was made to it.
Thank you, and this too is an action item will require a motion.
Work session, move to approve the second reading of HG superintendent's role in negotiations policy as presented.
Second.
All right, we have a motion and a second, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? And that motion carries.
And so everybody can know, Ms. Mass did send me the student fundraising. It's up there. I just couldn't find it.
We never doubted that.
Not for a second.
Never doubted.
All right. So let's see what we have next. Next, we have financial reports. What we do?
Good evening, I'm gonna stand on this side this time, because it's easier. So as of month end, we're at 41.9% of the fiscal year with a total of 39.7 expended, and with encumbered, we're right at 45.38. Overall holding just fine, as we have been so far this year. Continue our, great financial position in regards to the expenses and where things are. Again, I point out that have the past few months of where we're holding between expenses versus where we are on actually the time of year, which is 41.9%, and local salaries being roughly at 42.3. So we're right in there. And remember, we've not done any of our tuition PFAs that I mentioned, so we should be fairly spot on for this year. Any questions on expenses? Nope. We'll go down to tax collection. Another good month for tax collection. We're roughly at 90.5% on what we've brought in so far. It was roughly just over 1 million with 17K in delinquent. Again, being at roughly 90%, we've got the rest of the year. We'll have a senior property and disabled vet final later in this year. We do look good as of now, but we've got still roughly, if you look at those numbers, we still got roughly about 1 million to get in between now and the end of the year. So there's still a lot of revenue on the local side to bring in, but I don't think we'll have any problems, but just want to make you aware there's still roughly 1 million there. So any questions on that?
No.
Nope. Set asides. All right. You'll see that we still have roughly 64 million, 64,000, numbers. My bad, 64 million. Total legend. Yeah. We don't have the expenditures on here because Doug has paid us back this past month as he promised. I paid my bill. I've got a little interest piggy bank fund that he's, but no, seriously though, he did pay it back. So again, want to thank y'all for the allowing for that. Again, the set asides, holding at 2.95 million, but it is great because of the cash flow things like we experienced with MCI. So we appreciate the ability to borrow from this, which is what we've
what we've done it for, so that it's, you know, great that we could do that, but I think by next month, you should be fine on the other as well.
Yes.
Yeah, it should be within the next month, and these should all zero back out. So, any questions on set asides?
Yeah.
Alright. Monthly revenue, overall receipts to date are roughly at 6.29 million. If we go down to the bottom, that includes state, federal, and local. We are roughly at 94% of what we've received. The areas that are highlighted are things and numbers that we have updated based off of what we actually ended up getting allocated for. I noticed with MCI and the minor cap were slightly off on the way we had presenting them. And so I wanted to make it match how the report is, as well as the choice and charter after everything was said and done. We normally hold those changes off until the preliminary final budget for the year. But I've been making those small changes throughout just so that we have a running updated. So we won't have, when we do a final preliminary, probably in the January to February timeframe, because we always do the final at the end of the year. You won't see a lot of changes, but we've been kind of making them all along. So I just wanted to make y'all kind of, you know, aware of that. There's also a new financial system for DOE school finance, and all, you're aware of what I'm talking about. And so I've been actually, as the week getting updates and transfers, trying to put those in here. Some of those are a little later than I anticipated them this year, but you've noticed too. So, but overall, we're at a good financial spot. So are there any questions on the revenue side? The only other thing I want to make you aware of, and if you'll scroll down one more right there, so I just want to make you aware, this is how our systems generate reports. So I only did this as an FYI for y'all. Because of the move of next month's board meeting, your revenue report may be a preliminary report because it will literally become available, I think, over the weekend. But then there's a maintenance window, if you see on here, for DPI's maintenance window, which is on 1/11. So it comes available like on that Friday to Saturday overnight, and then on the 11th, they shut the system down. So when will that mean that it becomes available? On the day of the board meeting, the 12th. So we will do all we can for the revenue, but if we have to hold that until February, I just want to make you aware ahead of time that that's why. But I still think we'll be fine on the expense side, the set aside, and the taxes. We will have a financial position report, and I don't anticipate, but what I have been told that is, if some reason we can't get that in time, what we'll do is we'll do a preliminary on what we think it is, and you guys can approve that. And then the following in February, we'll give DOE the actual final. And other districts have told me when they needed to do that, it's just fine. So just want to make you aware. I don't see any issues, but again, trying to give you the information. Any questions on any of this?
Yeah.
Nope. All right. Are we going to do that?
We'll just go ahead, we'll go ahead and do this motion first, and then we'll go to the next one. All right, board colleagues, this is an action item. I just need a motion to approve.
Darren Savage, I move to approve the financial reports as presented. Second.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? And that motion carries. And next we have the alternative reduction plan.
So as you're aware of the state give back, we this year have to give back $634,068. So what we decided to do this year is we have, and we'll kind of start from the bottom of the state personnel salaries and work my way up. We had through the various House bills, we had partials that we received, which are really hard to code when you've got 0.16 and 0.17 and 0.02. It's really hard to use in a unit that's that small when you're hiring. So what we did is for these three categories, you see they're small amounts, but because we had such small partials, we actually were able to use those to actually get credit from the state. What ends up happening by doing this is we'll end up not having to pay in the all other cost category. What that means is all other costs is fully discretionary. So what we did is we sacrificed 0.16, but we got back fully discretionary funds by not having them take the discretionary funds over these. So we've still got money to make up for this, but it's not tied to that one line item for those three. We also did 6 teacher units. One would say, are we not, that is not the full amount of unfilled units we have. We still have more units available to hire throughout the school year, but we estimate what we'll actually be able to hire. We also want to make sure that you're aware when you're doing this, that the 6 teacher units, and for those that are maybe even watching this externally up here, is that we hire more than 6 through our consolidated grant. Both on the IDEA, the title programs and such. And so what this is I tell you all this job is about cash flows more than I realized when I was thinking. It's really about saying, well, if we can put those into grants and cover them at 100%, then this gives us the state monies back on this side. And we're just kind of, and this is kind of the way they've always done it in some way, form or fashion, you know. One would hope that at some point in the future, we don't have a teacher shortage and we're able to fully fill all of these and those sorts of things. But at least where we sit now, there's a shortage. So it allows us to do what we do, move things around and get the credits, give you local funds basically through all of the costs. Any questions about that? No. Child safety awareness is basically child safety curriculum, but we have enough from the prior year that we weren't going to need those. CPR instruction, we've got folks trained internally, right, Mr. Zoll, or am I?
Yes.
And then Division 2 of vocational was basically between last year's carryovers for vocational funds and what we get both on the state and federal. We decided to do the same thing and basically give back part of those funds to basically equal out the total here. It's not all, it's just a portion of what they actually receive. That's been part of an ongoing practice as well, I do believe. So any questions on that? No?
I'm sorry. So if that, the total's out there, like that's the money we have to work with, but if we don't use that, then we have to give that back, or is that money that we put somewhere else and then reuse it?
Across all of K-12 school districts in Delaware, we give back $26 million as a education. And so our cut of that 26 million is 634. And if we don't give that back, they take it anyway.
Okay,
Take it
that's
in
what I was gonna
discretionary.
Yeah, then we can hide it somewhere else, not hide it, put it somewhere else and we use it later on.
Yeah. And that way we can use it for anything from energy to salaries to doctor rentals, like it doesn't matter, as opposed to it being tied to these specific things, which is kind of how I mean, I could go back around and then spend it on these things. It's just, we get the option to do it our way versus having to do it.
Them do it their way, good.
And do we know, is there an end in sight of this post back?
I don't believe there is, but one would believe that if we're going to fix the funding problems in education, that we've got to find a way to give back.
There will not be a new funding model that's implemented that includes a give back. I'm going to say that definitively.
Because the original funding model didn't include it either. Like, this is something that someone came up with to balance the budget. You know, so I'm just, you know.
You don't have enough money, we make it happen. And I mean, we can hate it all we want to, but if you don't do it this way, they're gonna take it from where they want. And that's not what you want.
That's why I call it the take back, because when we think about, or we talk about the literacy, and we go to all these different meetings and all these different goals and priorities that they say they have. Say it again, I'm sorry.
Keep the main thing, the main thing.
Keep the main thing, right, the main thing, you know, these students. And, it's just like, in one breath, you want to pour into, say you want to pour into a district, but in the next breath, you want the district to give you back $634,000.
And then in the other breath, they won't fund, new buildings, and our buildings are 100 years old.
Correct.
So.
And, you know, and so it just doesn't, that just doesn't make sense. You know, you can't want to take away, you know, resources and then at the same time tell people that you want them to do better in an area. So as you said.
And I'm confused as to why schools are under-resourced.
Correct. So, you know, we've been doing this now, my gosh, I don't even know how many years, and I didn't even think it would ever be this long. But there was a time that, you know, I know Jeff was on board at the time when we've been on there almost a decade. And this was not a thing, and remember when it became a thing and we didn't like it then.
17, 18, I believe.
I think so, somewhere around there.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I need, next time we're at a place and they're wanting to shake our hands and introduce themselves, I'm gonna have to ask the question because I just need to understand how this makes sense.
It doesn't, but I mean, I think that's the key is to get those feelings heard and make sure that they understand that we need this to continue to be.
All right. Yeah, well, I see him again.
January 20th.
They'll be here. January 20th.
All right, good. We'll stand shoulder to shoulder there.
We should have put it at Fred Dunn. Our oldest building.
Along the fence.
Said bathroom, and one bathroom.
Yeah. All right, well, that is. You know,
They've heard
I
it.
think it's odd that we have to prove something that we don't want to. Because they're gonna do it anyway.
They're gonna do it anyway, but
Yeah, that's what that.
unfortunate part.
So weird. All right, so this is an action item, and we need a motion for the police.
Like, to approve the alternative reduction plans for them.
They'll say it, that's second.
All right, we have a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? And that motion carries. Thank you, Patrick.
You.
All right, next item on our agenda, we have our long range agenda. And just like everyone has already said, I mean, if you look at the calendar, you can see there is something every night if you want to do something, okay? We had many people join us for the meeting tonight. Tomorrow is a paint night at the middle school at 5:30. We have the winter concert and art show at the high school at 7 p.m. on the 17th. Kindergarten night of arts and ornament shop, that's at West Seaford, 5:30 on the 17th. Kindergarten night of arts, 6 p.m. at Blaze Elementary, will be at the middle school the next day on the 18th. Then we have a winter concert and art show at 5 p.m. For Central Elementary at the high school on the 18th. The 19th, you can find yourself in a winter wonderland with a hot chocolate bar, and that would be at the high school. I'm not sure what time, do we know what time?
It's ongoing during, one lunch.
Okay, ongoing during one lunch. On the 19th, we have a sing along at Fred Douglass at 2 p.m. Mr. Rice, you wanna, show us what you got? And then we have winter, break, starting the 22nd of December and it goes until, January the 2nd. We have the school board appreciation month will start in January. The school will reopen on the 5th of January. Hope everybody enjoys their break, so they come back rejuvenated and ready to learn. And then we have a PTO meeting for West at 5 p.m. on the 8th. And then don't forget that on the 12th, we will have a Board of Education meeting in the high school in the auditorium at 6 p.m. So put that on your calendar. And that is all I have for, activities that are occurring. Next, I would need a motion to go out of public session into executive session.
Mark, sorry, I'm gonna be exit public session in terms of executive session.
Right. We have a motion and we have a second. All in favor, say aye. Opposed? And the motion carries and at 7:23 p.m.